good morning, and welcome to this week's coffee. I'm joined by none other than my dear friend, the great scriptwriter, producer, content specialist, just everything. Maxine Rose. She is going to come to us and give us some fabulous tips on helping us grow our business from a professional content specialist purview, as well as a producer's purview and a script writer's purview, because we all know it is all about enticing someone to want our product. So I can, as I tell you every week with all of my guests, I can talk about them all day long, but it's better, I think, if Andrew gives a little brief introduction. So here we go. We'll see you in a moment.
Welcome to Coffee with Glenda and Friends. The show today will feature Maxine Rose, content specialist, writer, producer, and owner of Max Rose Studios. Maxine has created an impressive success record working in the corporate, not-for-profit, and faith-based industry sectors, which have culminated in her developing a consulting business that specializes in scriptwriting and content marketing design. Maxine holds 2 grad degrees, one in film production and a second in creative writing. And she enjoys helping folks walk out their vision, beginning with the personal mindset and following through with the professional performance. We are excited to present Maxine to you this morning. Before we start the show, just a few housekeeping items. 1. Grab your coffee and your questions, and if watching from YouTube, place your questions in the chat box and Glenda will attempt to answer as many as possible. If we miss your questions, please feel free to come back to the replay and enter your question in the comment box, as Glenda always answers all comments. 2. At the conclusion of each show, Glenda will create a how-to video detailing the most interactive or asked questions during the show. This content will be exclusively for subscribers who have a paid subscription. Click on Join to learn about the perks of becoming a paid subscriber of Glenda's YouTube channel, including being featured as a co-host on a live Coffee with Glenda and Friends show. Okay, I believe that's it. Let's start the show.
Listen up, ladies and gentlemen.
Good morning, YouTube and Facebook world. Are you ready to have coffee with Glenda and friends? Let's go. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
It's still the best.
And once again, I want to welcome you, Maxine. Thank you so much for taking the time out. Last week, I had a show on advertising. A lot of questions came up about marketing and advertising and conversions and leads, and you popped into my mind. And I said, no, I always tell you, audience, that if I don't know how to do something 100%, I know people who do. So I knew to call Maxine. I have partnered with Maxine on several projects. I think one that we are both most elated about is that I had a client who was in a desperate emergency need to have a kidney transplant. And so we created a campaign, and I called on Max because we knew that it needed to be very interactive and it needed to have a website that would generate people to want to act. And Maxine is the best. And I always say, you guys, you get what you pay for. So she is the absolute best. And so because I knew I needed to have a certain amount of people click it, I needed to make sure that people would not only click the button, but would act and would drive. And she helped me create that content to the T. I was able to give her the big picture. I was able to tell her about the client, and she was able to take that script, that information I gave her, and created to make people want to act. And do you know that client got her kidney? Kidney. And I think it was 8 months, Matt. 8 months period of time.
Yes, it's in and around. Yes.
Just such a blessing. And so when the question came up this week about the clicks and how it all works, I thought, nope, I'm gonna call in my partner, my ace boom coon, when I need to make sure I need some stuff to happen on the internet with these ads, and that's Maxine Rose. So, Max, I'm gonna ask you the famous question that I ask all of my co-hosts. Who are you? What do you do? And how does what you do going to benefit us?
There you go. I love that. It's a wonderful way to start it. My name is Max Rose. Some folks call me Sunny, Max, others just fine. And I am a content designer and writing specialist. So I have an eclectic background, but what I do for folks as it pertains to content is I check the mechanics of your business, the ins and out of how you run it, but specifically your area of concern. And I just sort of take a wash of all of your online sort of content, your languaging, and I make certain that the what you're saying on your different platforms, especially on your website, really has even a chance of exacting the preferred outcome. Sometimes there's incongruency. So folks mean well, or sometimes folks are sort of borrowing from other folks' platform, just little trending phrasing or activities, but it's not pointed in a way that will actually get people to move in the direction that you need. So what I do is I go in and polish content, be it for your website, and then even if we're going to go deeper in terms of your ebooks and things that you're offering, I'll go in and just make sure, from the ebook, you want them to do something even from the ebook. So let's just make sure that the upsell is built in so the person will know the next thing to do after they're finished with the product that they have. So I just make things work and come together as it pertains to content.
Okay, Max, can you share with them a little bit about what you helped me with our kidney campaign?
Mhm,
How I came to you and I had all of the information, but
mhm,
just like what you really did, because it was like magic how those people by the thousands started to not just come, but they
mhm.
actually acted upon it. Like we needed them to become donors, we needed them to become advocates. Can you go into the technical thing that like people see that they have impressions, but I have a question this week, but they don't see the
Mhm.
return. Can you go into a little bit
Sure.
about really like spilling all the beans, but really kind of give us an insight as to how that works?
Sure. Now, Glenda is unusual because her game is tight. There's no real way, no other way to say it. She shows up with everything that's necessary. So she's usually overpaired. So a lot of folks that I've partner with, I've sort of had to um, help them know what to bring to the table. So I'll go over those things, but I just want to say that for Glenda, things were it's just a whole lot easier because she was already up to speed with everything. What you need when you have when you need folks to sort of you want to interrupt their day and then have them do something they never even knew was on the table or and a part of what would become their day. So there's an interruption, a disruptor um, part or portion of marketing and content that has to be in play. But the first thing that you always need is the thing, the widget, the outcome, the thing that you need, the end game has to be firmly fixed in your mind. And from there, you reverse engineer all the way back to one. Okay. So the first thing, if it's, we want to, it's a kidney drive, that sort of is parallel along the line of donate, if you need donations, but it's also subscribers. If you're trying to build your subscribers, if it's revenue, you're really just selling something, books or whatever you're doing, that thing has to be well defined. Okay, so it's not just, oh, I want to make an impact. That's just too murky. Okay, you need to know that I need someone to register for kidney transplant. I need them to actually go in and show up at a hospital and do the testing. Okay, so if that's what you need, now you need time. So the first thing is you want the widget, you want the thing that you need them to do. The second most or equally important is when do you need them to do it? Okay, so those are the first two steps. They are critical and they are the most important. They're the first thing that you need. Nothing else matters yet. Okay. So, like I said, when Glenda comes in, she shows up, she lets me know, and she has the list of all the things she needs. This is what I need from you. This is what I have coming. And it's a beautiful thing. So, if you're doing it on your own, or especially if you're doing this with other folks, you have got to have everything mapped out. I work, the most work that I do is in strategy and outlining. So, when I sort of work, the pre-work is really the work. So when you go to execution, everything is already lined up and timed and dated. Okay. So what do you want? When do you want them to do it? I'm gonna let you get in here and then because I don't want to, because you know I can go. I can talk. You okay, Glenn? You can tell me if you need something else.
No, that's
Okay.
perfect. Just
Okay.
wanted the audience to know that it pretty much goes back to what we were saying over the last 2 or 3 weeks, that we have to have our plan.
We
And
do.
so with Max, she will work with you truly, but you got to come, like she said, you got to come correct. And if you're not correct, she makes you take steps back. Like, okay, we can do this, but first you have to do A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So what I'm trying to do is get you to do A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And then
Okay.
once I know that you have that, then I can say, okay, we're ready for Max. And
Mhm.
so Max has really helped me. I don't build a web site or a web page unless I have Maxine Rose edit it and look it over for me. Why? Because I know it works. I know that whatever she does, like I can give it a grist, I can give it a template, but I need her to go in. I need her to tweak it. I need her to make sure that it's what we call copywritten. And I'm sure Max will probably talk about that a little bit down the road. But I don't have time, one, to do all of that. Two, I need to make sure that the website is not only pretty and looks good, but it's functional and it gives me what I need.
Yes. That's it's so there's a lot to marketing, and so much of what's the some of the more important things about marketing is counterintuitive. So that's why it's not hard. Listen, when folks say, "Oh, it's so complicated," it's a matter of expertise. Because when you've been in the game long enough, you've studied it, trialed and error enough, it's not as difficult because you know the components and you know what to skip over. So one thing I would suggest to folks is some things you can wing it. Some things you can kind of Google and you can just go on YouTube and figure out the way that marketing comes together. It's very sensitive, very volatile if certain parts are sort of dismembered and not in place. Marketing is really where you want to invest the time and the money to do it right the first time out.
So,
So
Max, can you share, not to cut you off, but can you share
mhm,
with us what you notice is the primary mistakes people make when we're trying to
yeah.
grow and do marketing? Like, what are the mistakes like, what are the landmines you start to see over and over and over again with your clients?
The top three. In fact, I saw it so often. I created sort of I call it the formula of content, the law of content. It's a formula, so you can get your pen, you can use this for the rest of your life. It's really helpful. So with if you've heard of E equals MC squared, and sort of a theorem of um, something to help you remember an actual formula. The
Mm-hmm.
same thing is with L equals FA squared. And what the L, the F, and the A is the three mistakes that people make. Now, the L is the love thing. Now, stay with me. L speaks to anything that you want. anything you want for your business. It's the reason why you get out of bed. It's your purpose. It's your assignment, for the kingdom, that whole nine, anything that you're doing, right? So that thing, it has to be this. It has to be this. It has to be a time and a measure. So folks will go and post online and they don't have a time and measure. The measure of an outcome, a measurable outcome. So when you post, it should be connected to a desired event. It should be something. The post should point to something you need someone to do. It should be something that you need them to think through, to consider, to appreciate, and to engage. Okay, so you don't just like, oh, that's a pretty picture. Let's just do that, and let's just say something a little trendy. No, that's not what marketing is. That's not what marketing for business is. That's not what marketing for ministry is. So you have to have your measurable outcome. Not, oh, I want to make some money for the summer for the ministry. That's not business. Business is, I need to clear at least 15,000 by the end of the summer, July 15th. Okay, so now you have a measurable outcome. And then again, July 15th is the time. So time and measure is the first mistake that people sort of do. It's the first offense when people go to decide what they're going to write, what they're going to say on a website, what they're going to do. Your website shouldn't be stagnant. It should push people through the website. There should be things that you have at the top that'll get them to look, to get them to go on the, to push buttons and get to the next thing. You drive it. This is the one place. The website is your one place where you can control and drive the conversation, the relationship. It's a very powerful place in the process. Okay,
Mhm.
So that's the first one. The second one is the expectation. And this is a little counterintuitive too. And, for some folks, it seems as if it's not important. It's all important. We talk about the anointing. When we hear people sing, we can hear the difference. One person can sing a song, it can be good. They hit all the notes. Another person can sing, and people are weeping and crying, and calling out to God. Why? Because there's a difference in anointing. There's a difference. There's something more than the words. There's something behind the words. Content is exactly the same. That's why you can see some people and you say, well, all she did was post that silly little, dog in that one little phrase. And I don't understand why so many people, why did it go viral? You have to have an understanding of your expectation. Your particular posture is people pick it up. Okay, so don't show up and post anything on your website, or don't post on your social media platforms unless you have a specific expectation that you are literally walking the walk of faith as you do your work on your content. It really it informs what you say, or what what you're languaging, and it informs how you do it and how you present. People pick it up. Make certain that you expect an outcome, a positive outcome, when you choose what to say and what to do on your websites, and particularly with regard to content. Okay, so the last thing is speed of action. Okay. If your outcome means anything to you, if you really want it, if you really say, this is something, if I can get my ministry to do this, if I can get my, faith-based organization to really perform, I'm going to help all of these people. Your life is better when your ministry is working and humming, right? So
Right.
you're invested, right? When you're invested to the degree that you're invested, and then when you couple that with the learning curve, just the discomfort of sort of being vulnerable, trying to figure out what's going to work for this ministry. And I need it to work. I want it up and running as soon as possible. Right in that space between, I'm not sure what to do, but I'm sure I really want it to work. that is a breeding ground for procrastination. It's the
Right.
place. It's the place where the excuses come, and we're good at deceiving ourselves because
And I
we've been
really
doing it to
find that
ourselves the longest. Go
prevalent.
ahead.
It's very prevalent with churches. And
Oh,
so
absolutely.
I know that we have both a church audience on and a business owner audience, and you both can benefit, both sectors benefit from it. Um,
Yes.
but churches in particular, um, it's a let's wait and see.
Yeah.
And with
Yeah.
business owners, a lot of times is they get stuck in the research and it's fear, tremendous amount of fear. Like
It
I
is.
even notice it on, on the show and on my channel. Like I tell people all the time, put your questions. I bring some of the top experts in, and it's like,
Yes.
ask your questions while
Yes.
they're here. These people ain't cheap. You know what I mean? Like ask your questions while they're here.
Right.
And a
Right.
lot of times they don't because it's fear. And they tell me, they'll send me an email, and they'll say, I didn't want anybody, I think, and I didn't want to put it out there because somebody might
Right.
steal my idea. But,
Right.
my thing is, Max, and maybe you can help me, maybe they'll listen to you, is your idea is not that original. Our ideas
There's
aren't,
no.
and while we're someone across the continent, across the street, across the road has the same idea that we have. The
Yes.
difference is while we're sitting here waiting, hoovering, covering up our ideas, they're out there
Different
marketing.
reach. Yep. Exactly right. And and even moreover, often enough, it's a lesser product.
Yeah,
The people who are the first to the gate win. They sort of kind of get to the market first and become the go-to in a particular area. And it's not necessarily because they provide the best service, but they show up. That's the thing, guys. So success in anything, actually, but especially in business, in ministry, nonprofit organizations, success is a self mastery game. It has so much more to do with you. That's why the second mistake, when I say expectation, I say expectation, but in this form, I can actually say what that word means. It's really faith. I say expectation because, in different forms, folks have reactions to the word faith for whatever
right,
reason that they might have it. So I just kind of say expectation, but it's really faith. Is what do you believe is your right to have it? What are you standing on? Because you're going to need to deal with that.
right,
Because anything worth having, the challenges to your kingdom or the challenges to your assignment, they're not going to just lay back. They're going to definitely present any manner of delay. So self mastery is really how you maximize your content. You have to have the conviction, and conviction is not and something you do in a moment. It's a process. You have to know how to believe in terms of from today to tomorrow to the outcome. So it's not like I believe today, I have faith today, and it's a done deal. It has just begun when you set out and you take the first step. So that just means you're going to have to know what you're standing on. You're going to have to believe in the process. That's your due diligence. And by the way, that's why mentors work. Mentors work because um, they they have their ears are tuned to a real reason and the fake reason. And they can call it sooner and faster. And so it doesn't take so long. You're not chasing your tail for a week before you realize, oh, wait, I'm making up things that slow me down.
right.
So a mentor can help you. And also a mentor, you can borrow their faith and expertise. It helps your confidence. So accountability is built in here, guys. Expectation, faith, but accountability will get you really over that hump. So you need someone, not a friend. Can I underline in bold and
Yeah,
underscore all caps? Not a friend. That's not accountability. You need someone that you respect and you honor. It can be someone that you ever have an elder or someone that you're not going to mess with her. You're not going to play with her. You're going to be respectful. You're not going to give her no trouble because for whatever reason, they make you sit up straight. that's someone you're gonna tap for accountability, right? But that's a big one. That's a really big one. I feel like I'm
Yeah.
forgetting something.
Yeah.
Oh, speed of action. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I can agree with so much of what you just said. I can remember when I was contemplating starting a virtual art show and using a virtual platform, and I can hear just as clear Max in my ear saying, Glenda, just do it. I'm like, but Max, it's clunky, it's old, nobody's really doing it. She's like, girl, God gives you vision. Just start, just do it. And she said, the first one, it doesn't matter. What matters is that you're the first one. That's what
Mhm,
matters. And
mhm,
so I did it, and it was very clunky. I mean, in 2017, it was just like, okay, but now I was the first, and now I paved the way. There's so many virtual art shows, and other people are clapping up, and my platform now has grown. It's beautiful. It looks like a
it is
convention
beautiful.
center, and
Hmm.
and I have Max to thank for that, because she said it what matters is that you are first to the market with it. You can perfect it as you go, but just
Yes,
go.
just
Um,
go.
and
That's
I just thank you for that.
I the uh the folks who are successful, and I mean some folks are like 7 and 8 figure successful. When you talk, if you ever have the pleasure of talking and speaking with some of them or studying their progress, the first things that they did looked a little weird. It was a little janky. It's okay. It's okay though. You know why? Because they got out there. Now I am one for excellence,
Yeah,
but just like everything in life, everything has a balance. It has a give and take. You know, even with raising kids or relationships, there's sometimes when you just give people like, you are stressed. I already know what you're going through. What you said wasn't all that nice, but I'm going to take a minute and step back and let
right,
you have that one,
right,
because that is really how we scale and grow a thing and grow a relationship.
right,
And it's the same thing with your business. You have to do the very best you can to be as polished and work in excellence as possible, but to have it done is better than perfect. That perfection thing, it is the enemy's glory. That's what he's here
right.
to do, is to convince you that it needs to be perfect. um, and that's why I say, with the third thing, with the speed of action. So action doesn't mean as much as you think. I know that's weird. Action doesn't mean as much as you think, because we have a way of making action something. We make it acceptable to think in terms of taking action tomorrow and later on, and it continues to get pushed to later on. So the power of action is only in the speed. The
Mhm.
power of action for your business, for content, for marketing is only in the speed. Okay, that you will get over yourself. And so I love how everything is really about your walk. It's about your walk of faith. Everything is a testament to your trust, your obedience, your ability to crucify the flesh, take up your cross. Because when the flesh says, no, I got to look good, this has to really, you know, make me look like I'm really, that's why, because there's a part of you, I'm gonna shut up in a second because I can go on and on with this. It's a passion. There is there's a part of you um, that wants to really do and help folks, for in ministry or in the business, but there's another part of you that believes that the reason why people will say yes to you, the reason why they'll sign up for the membership or give in the donation or buy the thing that you're selling, is because it's so good. Hold on, just breathe. It's not true. It's not true. People do not buy only because something is excellent, something is good, and it's the best. Marketing is a spectrum. It's a whole kind of cornucopia of things that people sort of check on their list before they decide to buy. The number one thing is you got to show up. So I want you to start to prioritize showing up. Just get it done, you know, and bless God. Let him anoint it so people will overlook the little mistakes you didn't have time to get to and get to the crux of the matter, and they will. That's the part that you have to give it over. Once you've done all you can do, you stand and you let God bless it. Okay? Do you understand that nuance there?
Yeah, that's good tidbits.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Very good. Now, what I did fail to mention was that she told me to put up the clunky website.
Mm-hmm.
But she also said, now, you know, once I got through the first show, she's like, now, you know, you got to keep working on that, right? You know, you can't just leave it like that, right? So it is, the key is to get going and then to
Yes.
keep working on it until it gets to the point of you will constantly evolve.
Yes.
I don't believe in something ever becoming absolutely perfect because I am not absolutely perfect. We are not absolutely perfect. We are
Right.
all pieces and beings in working condition.
Right.
And so we're always striving. We're always striving to make ourselves better, be a better service, be a better
Yes.
servant. And we'll
Mm-hmm.
also always have to work hard at on our businesses. So your businesses don't die. They don't become dinosaurs.
Right.
Because many
Right.
times,
Um.
go Max, go ahead.
So when you decide what you want to do, so let's give an example here. So let's say your business needs to drum up. You need 200 new subscribers or members, um, or $2,000 or $2,200 or whatever. Okay. So once you have that thing, understand that you have to be teachable. So you refer to, and you guys have Glenda Boone, man. Y'all got the best of the best. So you should prioritize this platform. You should just know, like your folks, your people should know, oh, no, at 11 o'clock, first thing, on Monday, this is my time. Because a lot of what with all of the schooling, all of the money I spent on formal education, the things that, let me assess, make sure I'm not, yeah, it's true. The things that have really been lucrative have been things that have come by way of one-on-one expertise. I found someone and I just hitched my wagon, you know? And because you can't really Google firsthand experience.
Right.
There's just nuance. There's things in there that you get during broadcasts on this kind of platform that's really having experts give you the ins and outs of things. If you dedicate your time, if you just make it important, even though it sounds like you're just hanging out, you're just listening, you are getting all of the different things, like not all of it, the most important things. You're not getting into the filler courses. When you get a marketing degree, there are some courses, believe me, I used to work in education. I was an academic advisor for tech schools and a university. So I know the behind the scenes of formal education. There are filler courses.
Right.
There are filler courses that are just marginally helpful for what you're really trying to do. Okay. This day and age, everything you do for your ministry, you ain't got no time for that.
Right.
You have got to get there and get running faster and better. And this is how you do it. You listen to the experts, write down the important things, be teachable, do what they say. Go ahead.
So Max, before we get to
Mm-hmm.
our questions, I wanted to speak for a moment because we're going to ask some business questions later. My churches they just crawl the internet and that they crawl YouTube, and that's okay. Oh, that's okay. And then they text me and then they email me. But while I have you here, and I know that you're finally, um, Max has worked in corporate, she's worked with entertainment, Hollywood. She finally, y'all, finally got the calling that the Lord told her he wanted her to use her skills for the kingdom. Now, I've been telling her that for years, and she's been fighting it for years. But she is finally going to use her gifts in kingdom building. And she has a website that I think you're launching soon, gospelbetter.com. Oh, please don't kill me for putting it out there, but I want to put it out there because people can watch the replay and they'll be able to go to your website, gospelbetter.com. Yes. I want you to speak because you've helped me, not only with my private clients and my businesses, but you've helped me a lot with my church clientele, which has been a real pain point for me to get them to understand the importance of it's not just about getting up on Sunday and preaching and the music be right and the experience be right when you're developing an online ministry. There's so much into it. Like they need this content marketing. But marketing one is a voodoo word to say in the church, they prefer messaging, which I get. But we really, Max, really, if you could just take a moment to talk to that audience.
Yes. So the name is indicative. Gospel better. How do you get the gospel out better? Okay. And what comes to mind often for me, at least, is the parable or the story of Christ with the woman at the well. He exhibits just perfect marketing tools. And if you notice, he strikes up a conversation. He doesn't just blurt out what he has to offer as it pertains to salvation. He starts up a hey, drink of water kind of conversation. There is something that happens when we engage in a humane way. Humanity, that's why the whole idea of, we overcome by the blood of the Lamb, the word of our testimony. You mean testimony has an ability to overcome all that the tomfoolery that's going on in the world? That our testimony? Yeah, so when you're transparent, when you open up your heart, when you say, this is where I've been, this is what the gospel has done for me. That show of humanity opens up hearts. So if you have the stony heart that's, scrolling, judging people and their lives on Instagram, and you have a disruptor, you interrupt what they thought they were going to do, and you get them with something that is humane, that's a show of humanity. I can't stress enough how if you're offering the gospel, it has to be transformational. There has to be a change of state. That's what marketing is really for, to change the state and mind of the person who is being targeted. Okay. So when I've helped people who are, it's in regular secular circles or industries, I've always had to, there have been people who I wouldn't work with because I was leery of the product. So I didn't want to help them sell something that I didn't feel right about, right? There is no more important product than the gospel. So we should be the best of the best, not only because of that, because the people need it, more than anything. But we have no excuse because no one is a better marketer than the Holy Spirit. No one is better. So we have the tools, we just have to implement them, and we have to take it seriously.
Yeah, I remember, and I wanted you to speak to that, Max, because Maxine was one of the few people when I wrote my book, The Church is Leaving the Building. She was referred to me to edit. One, I couldn't really find an editor, and that would really grasp hold to the book. And Maxine, when she read it, and she was so excited about it, and she said, "You must bring this to market." And she actually did the foreword for me. And it was at that time that I've been pushing her since that time that, Max, you really gotta go into the gospel industry. We really need you. But now I was just like, Max, this is like emergency red alert, because the pandemic, I said it was leaving. The pandemic caused them to they just left. But now they're coming back. But they're coming back, I'm afraid, to the same way they were before the pandemic. And my thing is, Max, that the Lord was giving us warning signs before the
And you
pandemic.
picked up on it with that book, I gotta say. When it dawned on me that you had written that book well before all that happened, I said, somebody's tapped in. And somebody's led by the Holy Spirit.
And so now I'm like, okay, it's red alert time now, because
it so is.
Because that door, that the way it was, is no more. And what I'm afraid of is that a lot of churches are winging it. Now, I must say, and Max, I don't know if I let you know this, but the book that you edited for me did make Amazon's top 100 list. So thank you for your help. But and that was this year. And that was 4 years later. But that means that now, one of my pastor mentors said something that was profound to me. And he said, they weren't ready for it then. So when you wrote it, they weren't ready to even conceive it then. So now, like, it just made the top 100 list this year. And I'm like, wow, that was so long ago. But now they're ready to receive it. But it's so much work that's required to, I think, they don't want to just put the time and effort and resources in to make it happen. They think volunteers can make it happen. Can you speak to that?
Sure. So, folks, and congratulations on that top Amazon. That's awesome.
Thank you.
So there's lots of stuff in there. Okay. So one thing I want to say is partner with the Holy Spirit with all of this. The Holy Spirit can tell you well before the time how to get ready. That's what he's been doing for us since the beginning, is getting us ready for feast and famine, getting us ready. Okay. So that speed of action part, connect that with partnering with the Holy Spirit, the leading of the Holy Spirit. When you get a pull to work with this person or to do this thing or create this product, honor it, do it, get it done, get it in the earth, get it planted. But the other thing with not wanting to do the work, because it is, when I do a deep dive when I get a client and I study the mechanics of their business, the areas that they're having problems with. I study their competition, their audience. There's work to be done. But when it works, that's the reward, yes?
Yeah.
So what I suggest is that your left brain has to be convinced it's worth it. So some of this is spiritual, but then some of this is mechanical. Some of this is just psychology. And you have to understand how your brain makes a decision. So your brain's the job. It's a biocomputer. What it's designed to do is not waste your time. Okay. So when we say procrastination is in play, or I keep, second guessing, or I have imposter syndrome, I don't think I'm ready, all of that is your brain doing its job. But you have to be the master. You've got to decide, I am the leader, I am the master, and I'm the controller of this whole ship, okay? And override that. One way that you override it is education. It's research and education. Because the more you say, okay, look at all of these people here who are successful in my industry or in my, on my mountain. when you start to look at them, you start to see patterns.
Yeah.
And those folks do what we're saying to do, which
Right.
is to
They're
sit
doing it.
down.
And they
They're
have a
doing it.
they're not, they don't have volunteers. They have a team. They have a team of
Yes. That's
professionals
another
and
point.
experts in that field that is
That's another
making that
point.
happen. So when
That's
you
another
see the very large successful ministries, that's just not happening based on the music and the
point.
preaching, and it's not.
It's not.
And so that's like the baton I'm carrying now, Max, is okay. Now the Lord done told you, he done told you, he tried to tell you, then he showed
Yes.
you. So now, come on now.
That's
All right,
just
so I'm gonna get off of that. I'm gonna get off the church chitlin circuit. I'm gonna get off of that, and we're gonna get to some of these questions. Max, I just want to personally
okay.
thank you. I know you
Sure.
rearranged your schedule for me to make sure that
My
you
pleasure.
can be
Anything
here.
for you, Glenda.
There are a couple of questions that came up. One is, what type of content, Max, do you produce?
Oh, I take really struggling, I'll say it that way, struggling uh, scripts for a film. So dramatic film, um, romantic comedy, that sort of thing. And then I just clean them up. So I do pretty much the same thing. There are elements to a script, even if you're doing a script for, and now churches are starting to really understand that skits are really engaging.
Yeah,
Um, and
they're doing
you
their
know,
own plays. They're
doing your
starting
own,
to get in the theater. Yeah.
and it's edutainment a lot of times or often enough can be very impactful. So that's something you might want to play with. It's also a lot, it's fun. There's an element in it that's really a little bit more fulfilling,
Mhm.
to get your message by way of some kind of artistic expression. But anyway, yeah, I'll take a script and I'll work with the pacing. I'll get it tighter. I'll get the messaging better. Sometimes the characters aren't built out properly, and I'll get more sort of realism and believability and install that into the narrative and the characters. So that's pretty much what I do for for that
Now, as
genre.
far as content specialists, like
Hmm.
a lot of people in my audience right now, YouTube and all of these other different platforms, people
Hmm.
are really gearing up and they're creating their own channels on Apple TV.
Yes,
They're creating YouTube. I mean, they are doing some awesome things. So,
absolutely.
do you provide script writing or content writing for those platforms as well?
Yes, yes.
Or produce a show, or like how,
So
on a lower level, because we're not how sorry, yeah. I told y'all
no,
Max
no,
real deal,
no.
but Max, but do because we this is real. Real people are doing some real things and creating their own
Absolutely.
brands on
Right. And
YouTube and
real people doing real things and getting real successful. There are people who have gotten this all up to the seven figures. They've gone for the little dinky kind of little skits
yeah,
and have grown that all the way up to seven figures plus.
yeah,
So that's another thing. I'm glad you said that because there are things if you just get it done, get it birthed, and then just keep tightening it and get the bells and whistles going, it can pay for itself. It can help to it can become an additional revenue, a stream of revenue for the ministry.
yeah,
So struggle ministry, it doesn't have to be that way anymore, especially now with all of the tools that we have available. It doesn't have to be so the whole burden has to be heavy. That means I really love God. Kind of, it's a lie. The burden is not supposed to be so heavy, and so we can create content we can present the gospel in a way that pays for itself. You can do a series of YouTube skits that have your messaging embedded in the scripts and
mhm,
the art itself, and then have that thing pick up and then start to send have checks sent to you.
and
So
so
I want you to
suppose you
open
want
up
to
your
suppose
the
you were a
scope of things.
solo supposed, because
Mhm.
a lot of ministries now going solo, so they don't really have buildings per se, but they
Mhm.
have things, programs or event. Do you like? Do you help in those areas as well?
I can help you, um, and because I've been a marketing coach and content coach, as well as producing and the sort of film production part of it. It's very easy for me to marry them, and then it's easy for me to teach and coach you.
Yeah, that's
So
what. Yeah.
one of the things that I prefer to do is teach you how to not need me.
Yes.
So I have templates. I'm a firm believer in templates because I went to school for a gazillion years to learn how to do this well and work for all those years. But you don't need to take forever to get up to speed. The way that I transfer the wealth of my expertise to you is a template. So when I get people on the phone, um, that's what I do. What are you trying to do? What's your preference? Like, how do you want to do? You want to just concentrate on social media? You want to get that website up and buzzing,
Right.
or do you want to do something more artistic? Whatever you want to do, I can create a bespoke, customized template to let you know this is the list. Days 1 through 10, you need to get these things done. From there, you need to get XYZ. You're going to need this information. And we'll go over things like licensing, like you want to be careful, and I'll touch
Right.
on this a little.
So
If you're going to,
basically,
go ahead.
yeah. So basically,
Hmm.
if you want to cut out the middleman,
Absolutely.
because a lot of times what we'll do is we'll get that information from you,
Uh-huh.
from our clients, and then whatever we need Max to do in that, then we'll send that information over to Max so that she will have that particular piece.
Hmm.
So, but if you want someone that's more direct, that can take you from A to Z, and you have the funds to cover it,
Hmm.
then you definitely want to contact Max Direct, because
Yes.
she can definitely take you from A to Z. But
Hmm.
a lot of times it's a lot of work. Like when Max gives you
Yeah.
that thing, it's a lot. And so that's why it, trust me when I tell you it's a lot of work. And you're gonna be like, I don't want to do this. I'm just gonna call Glenda and let her do it. So that's, I'm just, I'm very transparent with you all. So a lot of
You.
times I sit down with you, we come up with the plan, and I say, okay, A, B, C, D, E. I do it
Yes.
because I know that you're not gonna do it. Number one, you're not gonna do it.
Right.
And
I
then
have.
go ahead, Max.
You sure? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So there are two tiers or two paths to what I do. Okay. So the first thing is I do it all. You tell me what you need. What's your objective? What outcome do you need? What are your resources? Okay, give me the whole thing. Let me get in there and I'll just get in there and do it. I'll go in and clean up the social media platforms, tighten up the website, give you some scripts to say, on your next live, and I just do it. Okay. And you can kind of see by example how you do what you do. Maybe you can just repeat that and do that on your own. That's one tier. That's one. Okay. So that's the premium service when I just get in and fix it. I make it better. But the other part is the other service is when I show you how to do it. That means you're going to do a lot more of the work. I'll be there to support you and to hold you accountable and to kind of tweak things and make things more customized for your particular business and the mechanics of your particular business. So either I do it all or you do most of it with my help. That's the two different things
Right.
um, that I
Right.
offer.
So I just want you all to know that before you go blowing up her email and her website, and then calling me up saying, "Are you crazy?" Listen, Max is the best of the best. I only work with the best of the best. Um,
Because you're the best of the best.
and we do have programs in place to make it happen for you. But
Mhm.
there's some things that just it's just an absolute on. And some of you, especially churches, those of you
Mhm.
who are following me on your churches, I am telling you, that you can bypass me. I'm bringing Max to you direct. You don't have to worry about, well, I wonder who Glenda Boone using to help her do that. I'm using Max Rose to help me with ministry specifically because she is the best of the best in that field. And if you want to save money and save time, then Max is the one, because I'm telling you, just like you all are coming to me now saying, Glenda Boone, you was right. Some of you said I cursed you and all of that. Let me just say this. This is just the beginning. You have to build a team, a professional team of experts in this field to take your ministry to the next level. You don't want to come to me. I get it. That's fine, but I'm telling you, I'm bringing you the best. This is the person that everybody goes to. So, Max, I want to thank you. Thank you. I do have a couple of questions. If you could just hang on with me.
Sure.
I do want to get to my members' questions this week. And I want to add that to the screen. And I think I have one of our friends. I think Miss Pat is on. Hey, Miss Pat.
Hi, how are you?
Welcome.
Hello, Miss Pat.
Max, I'm going to be calling you.
Oh, yes. I look forward to it.
I need you to tighten me up.
Well, Miss Pat, I got an attitude with that. How you going to call Max to tighten you up? I've been trying to tighten you up for 3 years.
Well, you my girl, Glenda. You hanging in there with me too.
No, it's all good. It's all good. Max and I work together on a lot of projects, so it's all good.
I've had the pleasure of working with Glenda. Glenda is one of the.
Go ahead,
just
Max.
to crow about Glenda just a little bit. When I see Glenda pop up on the phone, I know it's going to be something fun, something interesting, and something sometimes just challenging. So I'm just so impressed, and that I know it does not happen just by happenstance that someone just shows up so polished, but also has that caring, that open heart. Like a lot of times people get so good and they work in excellence so much, they lose their humanity, and you just gotta kind of get in and get out just to survive them, But Glenda has managed to just marry really well all of those different fruits of the spirit with, professional excellence. It's a rarity to get someone who's just really balanced on both sides. And so she's a pleasure, and I've been blessed ever since I've met her.
Well, thank you so much, Max. And likewise. And I always, because I know this because I lived it, is that I don't ever worry about my blessings, because I always know that if I help enough people get what they want, then the Lord is going to bless me with whatever I want, need. And so that's what I try to live by. I try to use as my mantra, and I try to get others to work by as well. So I'm just deeply grateful that Max took the time to rearrange her schedule today to be with us. But I want to get to this question. How can you tell if an ad campaign was successful or not? I see a lot of impressions, but I don't get any leads.
Okay. So when I say that you want to reverse engineer a campaign, so you want to start from the ending. By the way, if you're writing a script, if this is your first time out writing a script or for a skit or anything, that's what you start. You start with the ending. Did you know that? That when I go to write a script, or when I go to clean up a script, I turn to the last page. I want to know what happens to the good guy, what happens to the bad guy. Does he get the girl? Does the world blow up? Okay, so you want to know the outcome. So when you look at your ad campaign, you know that it's successful because it attained the outcome. You made the $47,000 in 6 months. You got 200 new subscribers. So that's how you know it was successful, because you started from the end. You started with what you wanted to happen. The other part is back to the time. Remember, one of the major things is time and measure. So a measurable outcome, which is the outcome that you want, but the timing will help you with the ad campaign. So you want whatever you want in a certain amount of time. So if you have 6 months to do it, You don't wait for 6 months to know whether you're successful. So you 1 week into a 6 month campaign, and that's kind of long for a campaign, but whatever your end date is, the first week lets you know if I'm on track. If you're trying to get 200 subscribers, 200 subscribers, let's say let's just do 8 weeks. So in 2 months, you want 200 new subscribers. So how many subscribers is that per week? How many new subscribers per week? If it's 200, I'm hoping somebody, whatever that is. So let's say that works out to 20 people a week. So now you've gotten it down to a bite-sized piece. It's a bite-sized piece. You can deal with that. Now, how can I get 20 new people to do what they do, to hit subscribe, to hit that button and that bell? Okay. So now you're in week 1, going into week 2, and you have 12 people and not 20. So now you say, okay, so this worked. So let me scale and up my game so that next week I can pick up and be at the 40 mark. So that you're not waiting until the last day of the campaign to realize this didn't work. You're tweaking and tightening all the way through.
Wow.
Go ahead. I'll let somebody else get in. Go ahead.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with what you're saying. And I think this week's video, for those of you who are paid subscribers, I will do a video on the how to measure your return of investment. We call it an ROI, which is return of investment. So explaining you your cost per acquisition, what that is, your cost per impression, so that you know what you're reading, because you can have 20,000 people scroll through your stuff and precious stuff, but if you don't have anything, nobody, no lead, no sale, no nothing,
right,
and that's a problem. So I will, for those of you who are at the $6.99 paid level, you will see that video in the back this week, so that you can learn the return of your investment. Yeah. Please don't call me or text me or say I have a quick question, guys. It's $6.99 a month. So if you're not paying $6.99 a month, you don't get the information.
Okay.
All right. So the next question is, I want to target ages 18 to 50 years old who do not seem to shun mental and emotional health issues as much as the older generation. Okay. Other than social media and email blitz, are there other known sources or known successful ways to get clients from this age group? Go where they are.
Yeah. You want to go, you can figure out where they're going. You can just even Google 18 to 50. Oh, that's a large. Chop that up a little bit, because the 18-year-old, think about it. 18-year-old is talking about and interested in a specific list of things, but the 50-year-old with the 2 grown kids in college, they're sort of perusing different things and looking for different things on the web, right? So split that up a little bit, but you can just, now there's no excuse. Just go online and look up, Google where to find 18 to 24-year-olds. Go ahead, Glenda, what you gonna?
Yeah, you can Google emotional health forums for 18 to 35-year-olds. You can Google that. Yes, you can go on TikTok and you can follow young people emotional health. So specifically, look at your search bars and your TikTok and your Instagram, your hashtag. You want to hashtag young people. What's something they may say? Young people trauma, young people childhood trauma. Hashtag that. Then you're going to find where all of these people are. And then you can, in that group, you can start hashtagging that. So if your message is, I'm talking today to young people with childhood trauma, hashtag, they're going to see that and connect them to wherever it is you want them to go. Go where the people are, leave a message. And the way to find the people is through the search bar of the device of the platform you're on. Everybody has a search bar. Go use it just like you use Google search bar. It works the same way. And then the hashtags, use your hashtags for your research.
Wow.
Okay, so next is other than hashtags, how can I get increase in followers, subscribers, and clients? Okay, Max.
This ties in with the first question also. So when you're posting or you're about to post and you're concerned about getting responses and engagement, two things are in play. One is it has to be clear what you want people to do, because it can't be algebra. So if you want them to click and buy, click and subscribe, if you want them to do a questionnaire, by the way, statistics suggest, or not suggest, they prove that the more, when you get people to ask questions, when you get them to post or share, they are more likely to do the next thing. They are more likely to buy. So the engagement is what you want. So you will want to ask, ask them to participate in a question. Tell me what you think about XYZ. You want to get them to convert and to give of themselves right back to you, right? So when you're not getting engagements, or you're not getting any takers, just make sure that they knew what to do. That in the body of your messaging and your content, that they know they're supposed to go to this website and do something. They're supposed to make sure that that's clear, because sometimes they don't know what you meant by the post. And then the other thing is they have to see what's in it for them. Like, what's the point? Like, why should I go to that link? It's got to be something, some pain or pleasure that's going to sort of compel them to comply. Hopefully that makes sense. And did I touch on the third question? What was the other part of the third question?
It was other than, they want to know how can they get successful clients other than this age group? Is that it? What the third question? That was the last question we went on.
Oh, okay. There wasn't a third? There was only two questions?
A customer wants a discount if buying 5 or more. What
Okay,
should I say if my cost does not support discounts? You should say your cost isn't, that you don't offer that. You cannot do it.
right.
You can't keep a customer and lose money.
Yeah, you can't. And you're not even doing them a favor. My experience is that, so I got a certification in holistic health counseling. Pat, do you need me to shut up for a minute? Did you want to jump in? Because I can go.
No, it's Miss Pat's question.
It's your question. So my certification is in holistic health counseling. So it's like coaching, right? And one of the first things they told us is, do not work for free or discount ad nauseum. Like,
say it again, Maxine, because she won't listen to me. Say it again.
Do not work for free or by discount ad nauseum. Do not do that. Now, remember earlier I spoke to, like, this isn't about an anointing, about what you do in your private life where no one can see you, and how your posture is as it pertains to your business and your ministry. That people see that. Like, I see you, their gut. If there's a gut check that's happening, it's unspoken, it's spoken, it's about your anointing. How your posture and your respect and your honor for your gift. And I'm talking about the gift that Yahweh said, I'm giving you stuff that's going to make room for you. Okay. I'm going to give you stuff that you're going to use it and you can go pay your rent with it. You can pay a mortgage with it. Okay. How you honor that and how you stand with your back straight with that thing, that really makes people buy. It helps people see that if you honor it, they can honor it. The worst thing you will ever do, sometimes, many times, is to offer it for free. The worst thing. The word says that a worker is worthy of his pay. That's scriptural, that you are worth your pay. And one of the reasons why there are tests, in terms of our walk in Christ, the reason why there are tests is because it's a way to, it's a crucible. Do you know, like you have gold and it has impurities, and you stick it in the fire long enough, and the impurities can't take the heat, but the gold can. So then when you bring it back out, it's purified. Okay. So we don't like it. I don't. I really don't. I wish there was like another way. But when Yahweh puts us through um, the test, those it burns off the impurities, and then our gift and we come out gold. It's the same thing with your business. When you ask for your money that you deserve, it's a furnace to test how you respect and honor what God placed in you. It's a test. It's a burn. When you tell that person, my fee to work with me is 5,000 down and $1,000 a week. And I had a coach. I believe in coaches. You guys should invest in them. I had a coach who's now a million. She's made millions of dollars coaching now. She said, tell them what you have determined is necessary for compensation. Tell them, and then physically sit back in your chair.
Right.
Because you have to announce to yourself that that's it. Now it's up to you. Either you see my value or you don't. It's how you honor God. It's not even about you at that point.
Right.
Okay.
Well, Max, again, I just want to just really thank you. I am trying to really, last week we was on here for so long, and I'm trying really not to do that again this week. But it is so very engaging. I'm going to say right now, we're going to wrap it up. Ask Max, put your question in the comment box. Now these will be the last questions that we ask while Max is here. Max, you know you always got a home here. Please come back here when you launch your site. Please make sure you come back, and we will just do one show just based on what you're doing. I would love to be able to do that, because as I said, Max, I'm red alert now. I'm up to red alert, especially in the church industry, because I see them getting ready to go off the cliff with this. And so I just can't wait until you do launch that. I would love to be considered as one of your launch, when I know you probably do a big old launch week, as a place to launch that.
That's amazing. And if anyone has any questions, I have no problem helping, and encouragement and all that good stuff. You can just contact me, at least for now. The time being is gospelbetter@gmail.com, and then just check on the other informations that I know are in the description, I suppose. But yeah, this is a blessing. I'm so happy to see you doing this, because people need Glenda. It's so important. So.
I am really amazed. I am overwhelmed, to be honest with you. I had no idea that it would be received so well. I do want to stress, I want to thank, first of all, my members who are on board, Stephanie and Erica. I want to thank you for your membership with us. I hope that you are being blessed by the member content area. I do go a little bit deeper. I show you how to do what it is I'm telling you to do during these lives. Like we spoke about return of investment, and Max spoke about today about how to measure. For those of you who have a paid subscriber membership with me, you will get that, how to do that. And we'll go a little bit deeper. If we can't do it in an hour, and now hour and 15 minutes. But we do it deeper. If you want to have a private consultation with me, your first consultation is free. You can do that at glendaboone.com.
Glenda, you're breaking up a little bit.
Okay, you can, is that better? You can click on the Let's Talk button, everyone, and glendaboone.com, Let's Talk. Schedule your first consultation, which is free. If you've already had a consultation with me, please click the Branding You consultation. There is a discounted fee for our members for the one-on-one consultation. But again, you can get consultation from me for free if you're willing to get up on Mondays, 11 o'clock, get away from your desk, take your lunch break early, and put your questions in the comment box. I am getting overwhelmed with people sending me emails, and I get that. You don't want your information out there. and I'm trying to reach you all. I probably next week, I don't know for sure, but I'm thinking I may just do answer some of these questions that you all are sending in. But it really is really a lot easier if you would put it in the comment box. If it's super, super, super sensitive, that's fine. Send the email. But if not, it just helps for you to pop on. I see you popping on. Thank you so much for coming on. But do me a favor and be a little bit more engaging and put your questions in the comment box and not the email box. I think that's it. Miss Pat, did you have anything that you wanted to add before we close out?
I just wanted to say I enjoyed the workshop very, very much, and I just love the connection that we have in terms of ministry.
Yes.
Your ministry and Max's ministry and my ministry are all edifying God, and I just like that connection. And I know that when I reach out to Max, as I reach out to Glenda, that I will be blessed.
Yes,
Amen. And
absolutely.
were you a model? Because Miss Pat Johnson is isn't that good looking woman.
She's
Oh,
beautiful.
Gorgeous.
Yeah,
thank you.
yeah.
You're gonna make me blush.
Okay, everyone. And again, I'm going to sign off now. It's been a pleasure, as it is every week. If you'd like to be a guest or co-host on Coffee With, and you are a member, a paid subscriber of the channel, please don't send me an email saying you want to be on Coffee With and you're not a subscriber of the channel. That's just not cool. Our membership prices start, our paid memberships are at $2.99, and we have several perks from you on all those levels. One is I give you for those of you who know that my business is Otace and C Marketing and Production, we offer full digital marketing services. So I do offer our paid subscribers at any level and access to an account that you can go on and we will do a snapshot of your business. So if you are a paid subscriber at any level, make sure you email me at support@Otace and C Marketing and Productions, your name, the name of your business, the address, and the website address if you have one, so that we can get you set up in the system and you can start to see how you're looking online. Again, thank you, everyone. And until next Monday, be blessed. Bye.
Bye bye.